The Omnic Weekly. Welcome everyone, it's Sunday, July 23rd, and this is episode 149 of the Omnic Weekly. I am D, and this week... this is kind of weird. This week, not only are we doing this on video, so you can see my stupid face, we can also see Hana, and the return of LP! I think everybody just needs to be applauding right now. I don't care where you're at, you're on a train, a bus, just go for it. Welcome back, LP. We have missed you.
This is an IRL podcast. I'm so happy to be part of this. I miss you guys.
And Hannah has your tea.
Yes, this is tea, by the way.
Yeah. That's what y'all say. Tea. Woo.
This is vodka in a water bottle.
Oh, damn. The first episode, I'm already getting blocked. How you guys doing?
I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Can you elaborate on what you've been, or not too much, but what you've been doing?
So I'm a nerd, as you all know. I've been away this weekend because I was at LARP. So we left Friday morning, spent all weekend in a field, and I literally got back 20 minutes before we sat down to do the call. So.
It was kind of a tight schedule. Like Hannah told us, like, I might not make it for the recording, and I was like, just let us know when you're there. I mean, for LP, it's better to do it later because he's in Florida, of course. Yeah. And but you made it. So it's all is good. I witnessed a LARP session once, and it was very interesting. I was very triggered to kind of join in. But I was kind of afraid that I would just kind of ruin, like I've ruined D&D with just being too stupid and silly. But it looks like fun. People kind of LARPing.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, getting lost in there. And Pete, what have you been doing, man?
Guys, I've been hibernating in this Florida summer. It's definitely a hot summer. This has been one of the hottest summers. I think you guys know that this has been like one of the hottest like recorded years in the history of history.
Yeah.
So
that's why LP is such a part of the DNA of this podcast. He's like 2 minutes in, he's already talking about the weather. Come on, this is classic Omnic Weekly. No, definitely.
To combine weather and LARP, it was raining all day yesterday.
Oh yeah,
all very wet.
Like the whole side of Europe is sweating bullets right now. They're like literally melting where they're walking, and just like there's this thing that runs over Europe. It runs all over the world, but I don't know what it's called in English. I think it's the jet stream or something. And everything under the jet stream is sweating like hell, and everything above is, like Hannah said, raining out and cold. Like myself.
Yeah, so today it's been really sunny and warm again.
Oh, really?
Just as we have to carry like heavy things
of course,
to and from the car. But yesterday, which was our main day for doing like story missions and stuff, it was raining all day, so we were just kind of like huddled in our cloaks.
Well, let's be honest, it is kind of immersive.
Literally huddled in cloaks, sat around campfires.
I see all those Lord of the Rings movies. There's never sunshine in those movies. It's all kind of rain and dry. So it's all topic.
And it's set in like medieval England, like alternative magical England, so it does fit.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah, exactly. All right, but let's get on to the topic of this podcast, which is, but besides food and weather, is Overwatch. Because I mean, I just said it just before we started recording, but having LP here is, we need to go back a few steps. We need to go back to when we learned that there was going to be a new support hero and that she was going to be Peruvian, because LP, I'm pointing at my screen, LP, but that means that you need to say something.
Guys, first of all, I feel like I've wanted this for so long, and I can't believe it's actually happening. Like, we have many different heroes that like represent separate parts of, like Latin America and like, I guess, Spanish-speaking Americas, right? Like you have Sombra, you got, well, I guess Lucio's technically not like the Spanish speaker, but he's Portuguese. We consider them like brothers. This is crazy. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what kind of magical powers or abilities they have. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's something to do with the sun, just because there's a big correlation with like ancient Inca culture and like sun worshipping and all that stuff. I'm definitely excited to see what this hero is all about.
Yeah, so am I, because I've always been very fascinated with our culture and just kind of bringing this whole new thing with the sunlight into the whole lore and the whole kind of magic set of Overwatch. That is going to be super interesting. I'm kind of springing this question on you, LP, which is a douchebag move, but anyways, fuck it. Like, is there one thing that they need to hit right for you as someone from Peruvian heritage that they need to kind of hit to make it? Yeah, they need to nail it. Like with the Dutch, they had to so powerful to kind of have that one thing, and with I mean, just like every hero has this one unique thing that really, like, people from that country feel kind of recognized. What is the thing for you?
Right. Getting right into the questions. I love it, D. All right, so they have to give them some sort of potato power. Little known fact: potatoes are cultivated in Peru before the rest of the world. Yeah, so I would love to see some correlation with potato abilities. I don't know.
All right, no, that is actually a very good answer. There needs to be some reference to potatoes.
Yeah, voice lines or like a spray where she's just like doing this, but instead of the sun, it's just potatoes.
A potato. I want to see this. Please, Overwatch.
See, that's only something that real Peruvian can come up with. I mean, that is kind of... I learned that in school, actually, back in the day, that potatoes came over from Peru, and that was kind of brought over here in Europe. And
the Andes.
Yeah. And we made fries out of it, so we have a link. The Belgians made fries out of him. Look at that. Hana, what are you guys going to add? Fish? All right.
Such a versatile crop that I think needs to be a staple in the character's ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would only be right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, come to think of it, we have the Trinity right here. So we had LP that made the potatoes. We made it into chips in Belgium, and then the UK added fish to it, and fish and chips. There we go.
Yeah.
We're going to
you know what
podcast.
Two
fish and chips.
Yes. I will say I'm definitely not a voice actor, so you can rule me out. You know, they didn't choose me to be a voice actor. But I really, and so, there we go. We got half the population out of the way. I'm really curious to see who's going to be the voice actor for this hero and what their background will be. I'm definitely curious to see if Overwatch is still hitting those those cultural points that like they did when they got Spanish speakers to do, like, for example, Sombra with Carolina Ravassa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely curious to see if they're going to hit those type of that not a niche. What is that?
Not a cultural kind of, I know what you mean. I can't think of the word either. But no, that I mean, we're going to know pretty soon, I guess. I think it's going to be somewhere next week and the week after that. They're going to start teasing. Hopefully, they kind of said that we're going to be.
Hopefully.
An important note: it's that in this hero's kit, if it's going to be something related to like Machu Picchu and that like ancient Inca culture, for some reason, it'd be interesting if they use like Quechua, which is the native language of the Andes, right? But it's one of those like indigenous languages that like nobody's really speaking unless you're from like that area of Bolivia. Bless you.
Bless you. Yeah. I thought you just yelled the name of a Pokemon or something, but you
Hannah's speaking Quechua right now. That was, because they do use those like. I'm not kidding. They use a lot of "y" sounds in Quechua.
Yeah.
So,
do you actually?
I don't know.
Do you speak it yourself? Do you know like a phrase or something?
I know very few words. Like for example, Mishi means cat in Quechua. Waraimi means woman. Inti means sun.
Oh yeah. Inti. I've heard about Inti, the sun god. That's the name of the sun god, right? Like Inti.
Inti.
I mentioned that in a video or something.
Inti Raimi would be the sun god, and then I'm sure everybody's heard of this luxurious bag called Tumi. Tumi is the the fun leather. I think that's it. Yeah.
Is that with the one with the head, like with the little with the little what is it called, like a
crown?
Yeah, exactly.
Headdress.
Yeah, I've seen that. There was this old comic back in Belgium that still exists, and they did a whole like episode on those Tumis and whatnot, and they needed to find them. That's why I know that. I get a lot of my knowledge, cultural knowledge, from comics, apparently.
Let's go, dude. It's more than most parts of the world, so
Yeah. It was all. They always put this educational thing in there. It's very typically Belgian comics. But look, this is for me one of the most exciting heroes that they've kind of hinted at in a while, and I think for them too, the fact that they kind of hinted at it so soon, it was kind of to make up for the whole PvE thing. But also, I think they themselves are quite excited for this because I'm kind of wondering: are they going to be part of a new faction? Are they going to be like Sombra, kind of independent but tied into someone, or just kind of out there doing their own thing? Like, what is that story going to be? So, a lot to look forward to. But I'm kind of happy that we finally got to talk to you about it. We already learned so much more than we figured out ourselves from everything else. All right, that was a burp. My apologies.
Super stoked.
I mean, like I said, I think in the future episodes of the podcast, we're definitely going to be talking more about that as they tease it. I'm really hoping that they start doing it soonish. I mean, August 10th is not that far away. We're July 23rd.
It's 2 and a bit weeks.
Yeah, exactly. How are you guys doing with your battle pass? I think I'm asking the worst people in both of them are always so busy.
I think I'm at like 50 something.
All right, that's close enough. I mean, they're going to do some double XP weekends. Just need it.
Yeah.
And judging by IP's face, he might even still have to start the.
You know, I'm definitely watching the Overwatch League. You know, we'll get into that later, but I'm definitely more a spectator of the streams.
That's the perfect segue. Let's just go into the Overwatch League. I think that is beautifully done. Because this week, which is a little more relevant, I mean, a little more up to date, or like the new hero thing was kind of something from a few weeks ago. But this week we got some big news on the Overwatch League. Something that we on this podcast have actually kind of been talking to each other about. Like the Overwatch League has kind of lost their magic from the first seasons. Well, the first season was, but like the second and the third season really got us all excited. And then it has been waiting a little bit. Pandemic happened, but there was something. And now this week we got the news that there's a new agreement that was made up, and that the team owners were going to be able to vote at the end of this season if they wanted to continue with this new agreement or just kind of bail out. And if they bail out, they'll get $6 million kind of as a, excuse me, sorry, we messed up. Bye-bye, see you. And then that's going to be the end of the Overwatch.
Yeah. When I thought about this, and I thought it sounds like a lot, but then you remember how much they paid to buy in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they ever paid that much as we heard I think it was always kind of meant to be paid out incrementally, like over the seasons, and kind of, it was never like, here's $60 million because we want that license. It was kind of more of a yearly deal. But still, Blizzard wants to make sure nobody sues them because, I mean, LP works for Misfits, which Florida Mayhem. Yeah, he actually started, for everybody that has been listening for a long while, that is where LP, his whole thing kind of started, making or setting up these events for Mayhem as a fan. We've told this story like a few times already, but I'm going to tell it again.
You're going to tell it again?
Yeah, like I was contacted by LP when I still was doing Omnic Esports because he wanted to help out. And he was so passionate about the Overwatch League that he was writing up live commentary about the games that were happening on his freaking phone because he didn't have a laptop back then. Like, that was the passion that he had for all of that. And he made it into a career, and we're all still very proud of how we did it. And,
we are.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that was 4 years ago, or over 4 years ago. But
it is. A lot has happened since. But now it looks like it might just, I mean, not Overwatch esports, but let's kind of talk about that a little later. I've talked to a few people, as some of you know, I was the social lead for Team Belgium. I still am, but we're disqualified. So, but we did good. I mean, I'm really proud of what we did. But and I've met a lot of people that are more into like the Overwatch esports community, like as players, managers, and whatnot throughout that whole network. And I talked to them too. This is just, it feels like it was a failed attempt, but it potentially could bring a new era of Overwatch esports that might actually be better. I don't know if you remember the Apex games from back in the day, how excited everybody was back then for those games. And I think we kind of need to get back to that era where the misfits can join as the misfits, you know, and everybody kind of has a chance bottom up to grow into it. And there's no more of these kind of that's the thing.
Hierarchical. Where you guys remember like Meta Athena and these amazing like orgs that just came out of the blue. And as soon as the Overwatch League was just announced, like these orgs just got so pushed out of the way. Even if they were like awesome, fan favorite orgs, like sometimes they didn't have the funding, right? Obviously, you guys remember Runaway with Ryu Jae Hong. Yep, yeah. Rogue. I mean, look at these like legacy orgs that it just came out because of the new esport that was Overwatch and before Overwatch League, right? And then Overwatch League came and essentially kind of took that model and monetized it, I guess you could say.
They took control. They took control, and that's something they love to do. They love to take control and kind of dictate on how things need to happen. But the problem is, nobody knows the exact answer. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. I think it's kind of a process that needs to evolve. This is a very young industry, and it's maturing, and it needs to kind of learn from its mistakes. But to try and take control, I think they need to kind of respect the people at the bottom, and they need to facilitate. Yeah. I hope they learn that with all the Overwatch League.
I think that is something that a lot of people who have enjoyed the league have said, is that, oh my goodness, please give like Path to Pro and Contenders the attention it deserves.
Yeah.
Like, that is something that I think we can all agree on.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in Contenders. There are some really good teams down there, a lot of good players, a lot of people very motivated to make it happen, even like the circumstances in which they have to make it happen because they don't get the support and the attention that they deserve. Oh my God. What are we going to do? Is this the end of the podcast?
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
I just wait, guys, before we end the podcast. I just remember, like the glory days when like Overwatch League came out, right? But I don't know if it could have been, I don't know if the YouTube exclusivity deal took anything, or if like they didn't really build like awesome storylines around players as much, or if it was DJ Khaled. I don't know what the downfall of Overwatch League was.
I even forgot about DJ Khaled. I love how you bring that back.
Man.
Damn.
That was a choice.
Yeah, that was.
He was a great meme-trepreneur or entrepreneur who's a memer. Yeah. But I think that he just took, the Overwatch League to the next level, and he should just stick to those things,
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a combination of everything that happened: the pandemic, the switch to YouTube, the fact that people don't kind of relate to these artificially made brands as much. Like you said, the storylines around the players is what get people connected to a team. I saw that really hard with the Overwatch World Cup, the enthusiasm of everybody, the support, the hype that people had for the World Cup and still have for what is to come in November at BlizzCon was so much bigger. Like, not even a little bit. It was amazing to see. I really had this feeling. I streamed a few of our games, and I was really close in, and I could see our Discord and whatnot. It was like those early seasons of the Overwatch League, but less forced because everybody kind of knew all the players. They knew all the stories, like for Belgium Logics, right? Thank you, Mr. Logics. That name went popped back up. And it was this personal, like these storylines, the personal storylines popped up and got people interested. And I think that is missing from the league.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, if you don't know these stories yet, and if you're looking for a team to support, it's really easy with the World Cup because you just pick your home team.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know any players, it's really easy to still
rally around the flag.
Find someone to support. Mm-hmm. If you're kind of coming into the Overwatch League now, you just kind of look at the teams and go,
which colors do I like?
Okay. Which colors do I like?
Yeah. It was one of those things, right? Like, back in the day, you had like just real genuine storylines, like Runaway, perfect team that just came out of the blue, was working so hard, and literally bought one of the, I think, Hongdu Panthera at the time, which was like the top org, right? Ran by an actual, run by actual sponsors, and here comes Runaway, and just like, these guys don't have, like, they sold their like laundry machine. No, they were donated a laundry machine, to their team house just to wash clothes. And you hear all these like amazing storylines, and then teams are like, okay, nowadays teams are just kind of like, this player works, this player doesn't, bye. And you're just like, oh wait, I hardly fell in love with this guy,
No, I don't think I've don't recognize any of them, to be honest.
No. Especially the last few years. I mean, the last time in the Overwatch League that we had this kind of attachment or that we had this type of storyline was the Shanghai Dragons, because they were on the losing streak and everybody felt really bad for them. And that they turned around and they just wiped the team completely and got a whole new team in.
It was amazing.
And it was gone. It was gone. Like, they got their first victory. We were all really happy for them. But at that point, we all kind of lost interest in what the Dragons were doing. To be kind of really kind of short on it, but that was kind of basically the thing.
Yeah.
And that was the last story they had.
It's like, like, for example, NASCAR is one of the biggest sports, like most viewed events here in the South, And why do people like NASCAR? It's not because of the fast cars. Okay, some people like the fast cars. I mean, there's Formula One for that, right? Mm-hmm. But it's because NASCAR is like a redneck soap opera. You know what I mean? And people fall in love with that stuff. They love the storylines. They love the drivers. That's what you fall in love with, and that's what keeps you like latched on.
Yeah, it's something you can relate to and you can build an emotional attachment to. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. I think that is in the end what people look at sports for. I mean, apart from recognizing their own, I think that is something that is in esports always kind of a thing, is where people recognize those plays or these things that they do themselves and they copy themselves. And you see the same thing in every sport. Not as much in NASCAR. If you're trying to copy NASCAR, you're being a douchebag. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
No. But yeah, I think it is interesting, and I'm really wondering where this is going. I think it's going to be a year of kind of silence. I think 2024. Yeah. I think 2024 might be if those teams decide to kind of call it quits and they get their 6 million, they're just going to take some distance from Overwatch, and then we'll have to wait and see what comes after that. And I think to be honest, I think that might not be a bad thing, because like with everything that is going around with the game itself and whatnot, it might actually kind of be good to kind of have this little more focus on.
Maybe get your eggs in order before trying to make an omelette.
Yeah,
I think if I'm not mistaken, you need all team buy-ins. Like, if there's one org or one team that decides to stay in the league, like, I don't think they can fold. I think you need
to do it. No.
Yeah,
it's
you need all the teams.
That is actually a good question. I haven't read anything about what some people think. I saw one article, I don't know where it was, that said like teams can decide individually if they want to stay, and the ones that want to stay can stay, and the others get 6 million. No, but it's really like it's a vote, and I don't know if it's like if one vote is enough to call it quits or the majority of votes. But once it is decided by the majority or that one person, they're all out. They all get like, because they put it in their what is it, like the fiscal or the financial report?
The clause. Oh yeah, okay.
The financial report, they mentioned Bobby Kotick mentioned. Remember him? He's funny.
No.
Yes. We don't know him. He who must not be named.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He mentioned that they would have to pay like $121 million to all of these, which, by the way, so they're paying these teams $6 million, but they also sacked like 50 people, like the same day. Like, I mean, that is just a society problem. I don't think it's specifically for Blizzard or the Overwatch League in this case. The corporations get $6 million and people are out of a job.
But you also know he's going to be pinching pennies hard right now because he's on the way out.
Yeah. Well, look, hey guys, you guys are on top of shit. Look at this. You're kind of handing me one segue after the other. But
can you just imagine? Hold on, if it is one org, one rich ass org, they just like, nah, we want to stay in the league, and like now forces everybody to stay back.
One org's like, you know what? Blizzard's gonna pay you $6 million for leaving. We're gonna pay you $7 million to stay.
I mean, they would be paying a lot more than just that. I think all of these orgs are just losing money, so they're kind of throwing it out of the door. What I think would happen, LP, if this one org would say, I'm staying, that org manager or owner would open the door the next morning and it would be like 20 bags of dog poo lit on fire in front of their doors.
Yeah,
because everybody would be like, outside. Motherfucker. Yeah. I don't know. Some people are still hopeful that it's going to pass and happen. I don't think so. I think 2022 is going to be the last season. But
yeah, and and just as before we go and before we leave this topic, I just want to say that when I started with the Overwatch League, I do recall that there being like a 5-year. This is the 5th year of the Overwatch League, right? Mm-hmm. So this technically was like kind of like their. Does it work? Does it not?
Yeah.
Like, so we are here at this.
We'll do this, I guess, for 5 years and see how it goes.
So they're basically on schedule. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, we're on schedule.
It's not as much as
which is crazy, but we're on schedule.
Yeah. Imagine that, Blizzard. But yeah, we'll see. I think something. I really believe something beautiful can come out of this if they take lessons from the last 5 years and kind of understand that.
Yeah.
Esports is just a bottom-up story. There's no way of forcing it, and it needs to evolve organically into something bigger, and it will in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think esports in general just needs to do that. But anyways, we were just talking about they're kind of, how do you put it? They're pinching pennies.
They are pinching pennies.
Mr. Krabs.
Right. Because they are kind of in a weird state right now. Last week, the deal with Microsoft kind of lapsed in the sense that they had planned to get the deal done by last Tuesday, which did not happen because, well, first there was in the States, there was the FTC, and then there were Hana and her friends going like, fuck this shit, Mike. No, that's Australia, sorry.
That was a bit, yeah.
I'll let you do it. I think you have a better handle on the UK accent.
Oh, see, the problem is...
There we go. That's as British as it gets. The problem is...
No, I was going to say where I grew up wasn't, like, inner London, so I don't have that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. But the thing is that the UK kind of... they blocked the deal. But then we talked about it a few episodes ago. Then Europe passed it, and they were like, "Oh shit!" Europe just passed it. We kind of look like twats.
Government was like, "Hey, CMA, which is what they're called, you're making us look really bad. Can you change your decision, please?" And they were like, "No, we're gonna stick by it." And then the American equivalent was like, "Yeah, go on then." And now they're like, well, actually.
To kind of make a long story short, they had to pause it in the UK. So now they're negotiating. Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, and the CMA are negotiating about what the new deal needs to look like. So the ball is kind of in the court of Microsoft to kind of do a new proposal. I when that moment, there was like a whole thing. The FTC lost their case and they appealed, which was really weird. But then the restriction order on that deal lapsed, so they had no power. They couldn't stop it anymore. I actually expected Activision Blizzard to go like, I'm on video, I need to be careful here, but kind of flick off the UK and go, we'll fix the UK in another way. We're doing this, we're closing it. But I can understand that they didn't, because there's like so many implications politically, financially, organizationally to kind of get that fixed and done, that they were like, and I think they're kind of confident that it's going to close, that they're kind of like, all right, we get this now.
I mean, in all fairness, I don't think the CMA would have gone back on their word. This way, they can change their mind and be like, oh, it's because, Microsoft sent us a better agreement that's more fair. And they don't look like they're going back on their word, even though they might be.
They already said that they're not going to share the new deal and not the content of the new deal. So that is kind of, I don't think they did with the original either, but still, it gives them that room to kind of.
As far as I'm aware, no.
I think behind the scenes, it just gives them a little room, like Hana says, to kind of do that. Yeah. That is true. I think that is. But that means that we might have to wait till the end of August to finally see this happen. So Blizzard is kind of in a weird state. The thing is, we've been seeing signs of the influence of Microsoft already happening.
Already, yeah.
Because I don't know if I didn't know about this, but someone told me on stream that apparently they fixed, I don't know what that means. Someone told me they fixed the old Call of Duty servers. And I was like, all right. No, that's something big. It was I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty. No, really. We never expected them to fix the old Call of Duty servers. And I was like, nice. do you think that is Microsoft? And I was like, I don't know, because the deal isn't closed and Microsoft has no power over Activision Blizzard at this point. And today I read an article, a tweet of someone from the inside that confirmed that it was Microsoft that fixed the old Call of Duty servers. So they are already, another rumor, StarCraft 3 apparently is in the making.
Yeah, that came out, didn't it? That rumor.
That would never happen under Bobby Kotick. There's no way that he would approve that. There's literally that is, for him, that is not enough money to buy new shoes that could come out of that franchise. So,
oh my goodness.
It's only an eighth of a yacht.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems that Microsoft is already kind of slowly taking control of operations at Activision Blizzard, which is
and then, of course, there's the fact that the trailer for Season 6 dropped at the Xbox event.
Oh, yeah. I think on a PR level, I kind of expected things to kind of start crossing over because that takes some preparation and there's no harm done on an operations level. And I don't think it's Microsoft that said you need to make StarCraft 3 or you need to... I think Microsoft just listened to Blizzard themselves, at the employees at Blizzard and the people and the teams at Activision and not Activision Blizzard. They went to the teams and they were like, what do you guys need? Oh, you want to make StarCraft? Go for it.
All right.
Go for it. Oh, you want to fix those servers? Talk to our people because I don't know. I think most of the servers actually run on Microsoft tech. In general, there's Amazon, Microsoft, and I don't know. There's a few others, but
yeah.
Anyway, so that was kind of interesting. Which is, I'm cautious here. I don't, but I feel kind of optimistic that it is going to be.
Do you think maybe under Microsoft you can play one Blizzard game, and when there's an update for a different Blizzard game, your game won't be affected?
This is kind of
so if there's a big Diablo update, you won't see a drop in the Overwatch servers anymore.
Did that happen for you?
Yeah.
I don't know. What I think
a few people that I've spoken to have noticed this pattern as well. It's the servers are trash, and it's oh yeah, don't worry about it. There's just a big update and another one of the game. There's a World of Warcraft update, or oh yeah, there's a Diablo update. Don't worry about it.
What I think happens is that a bunch of angry kids start DDoSing the servers because they don't like the update, and that is what has kind of causing these issues. Because Diablo, another beautiful segue, but Diablo did this big patch this week. A lot of people hated it. They hadn't played it for a single minute. They read the patch notes and they were all up in arms, which is kind of worrying. It came out and people were starting to kind of review bomb the game, and all content creators were kind of flaming Diablo. And I literally saw someone making a whole video about this. Just angers me, sorry, but
Diablo 4 is dead.
No, wait, it's even worse. His theory was, listen to this. He said, I woke up this morning and I realized that Blizzard made the release of the game so good, so awesome to get us all excited, but they had planned all along to ruin the game after 1 month to kind of piss us off, or to kind of, I don't know how to say it in English, to kind of just troll us. What is the idea? What is their plan? Do you think Blizzard is in the business of trolling you?
Blizzard hates you. Blizzard hates you.
Make them money.
Some people really just need to get, I don't know, a tinfoil hat is not big enough anymore. They just need to get themselves wrapped in tinfoil at this point.
That is a W take.
That is just, oh my God. I almost threw my phone against the wall when I saw that video. But I didn't, because I can't afford to buy a new phone. But the thing is, they pushed out the patch, and I played it. It's fine. I'm having a ton of fun with it, but fuck it. I'm not I think it's always those, we are for Overwatch, we are the top layer of really passionate people. And in every game, you have that top layer of passionate people, and those are always kind of angry with the changes and whatnot. You know what the Diablo team did? The next day, they did a live stream, and they said, yeah, we made mistakes. We're terribly sorry. We tried this. It didn't work out. We're never going to do that again. This is how we're going to fix it. Bam, 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 bam. 2 days after. I don't want to be flaming anybody, but let me get us back to the Overwatch PvE thing. They mentioned in the last 4 minutes of an hour video or a half an hour video that was about, with all due respect for all those people that worked on that was not related to that. They mentioned all right, PvE is canceled. They peace out. They don't say anything about it anymore. Some of us complain on Twitter, and we get the answer like, yeah, but we just want to listen right now. We don't want to kind of react. They haven't reacted since. And it's kind of deadly silence. And the Diablo team is like, hey, sorry, we fucked up. This is how we're going to fix it. Bam, 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 bam. And they did, I don't know how long the stream ended, like 40 or 45 minutes. I would actually like to see that happen.
From the Overwatch team. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see with PvE.
It's wild because, like, the review bombing thing, a few friends of mine and myself, we had a discussion about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't like Blizzard. They don't like this particular friend group. They don't really play Blizzard games. But as somebody who plays Overwatch and has been kind of following Blizzard news, I had a slightly different perspective than they did. And they were saying, oh, just from what they'd heard, oh, look, Diablo is so bad, people are having to review bomb it. And I was like, no, because the Diablo devs aren't the kind of people who don't listen. The people who are review bombing are absolutely jumping the gun.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing it way too early. There are other things they can do to ask for change. Because the development team have already proven, like with the beta, how much they listen to their players.
Yeah, they did. They did, exactly. Because all the feedback that we had through the beta was incorporated in that first batch. They just kind of... And they did an extra beta to make sure to test that everything that they have implemented.
Sure to double check,
And they invited everybody. So I think that is the way to do it. And I don't think you need to kind of give in to everything that the community asks, because 99% of the community doesn't know fuck about how to make games.
We're all like, we're dumb.
Yeah, okay? Exactly.
Most of us don't make games. Most of us are very fickle.
Yeah, to say the least. But to give us to kind of give us the sense of we're listening, to communicate, to be kind of willing to say, all right, we made mistakes, we fucked up, this is how we're going to fix it, is kind of the thing we need as Blizzard community members right now. I mean, I don't care, as someone that looks at Blizzard in a very nuanced way still, and kind of is always open to see what they do, and I mean, I'm not a negative Nancy, as they say, when it comes to Blizzard. I'm kind of more trying to stay neutral as hard as I can, and I've been doing that.
Positive Paul.
Exactly.
No, not even. You're just neutral Nancy.
Neutral Nancy. There we go. I need to get a tattoo that says Neutral Nancy. We just need to accept that Blizzard is not the company that it was back in the day, and that the perception of Blizzard is very bad right now.
We can, we can appreciate the fact that they're not going to be like this dream company anymore. And understand that, but we can still hold them to a standard.
Yeah, definitely. They're just not as...
we can also hold them to that standard fairly based on who they are now, not who they were before. Exactly.
I think that is the evolution that needs to happen, and Blizzard needs to kind of lean into that by what the Diablo team did. I mean, I was extremely impressed by what they did without even knowing all of the details. I was like, the fact that they did this is good. I mean,
pretty cool.
Like, everybody that was shit talking is now like, they're still shit talking it. I mean, I still see video, but they're like, the power of their shit talk has just diminished substantially because Blizzard addressed it.
Because Blizzard has just proven them wrong.
Exactly, they addressed the problem heads on. So, I mean, I think
Overwatch team, please.
Yeah.
You've seen how it's done.
I think they definitely can learn from that. I mean, they did some huge steps forward in the last year.
Yeah.
So we just need to give them time to get it. They're getting better. I think the Diablo team had a little more time to get it all done. But we'll see. I mean,
plus the Diablo team don't have like baggage.
Well, Diablo 3.
Okay, Diablo Immortal doesn't count. Diablo 3 doesn't count. What I mean is they have a new title, a new fresh thing. They don't have all of this baggage of like we were Overwatch, now we're Overwatch 2.
Yeah, there's a definite
half of our new team, he is half of the old team, and
yeah, I get your point. There's nobody that can claim that Diablo 4 is just Diablo 3 with a new logo. That's definitely not the case. Like, when my girlfriend's friends, one of her best friends, started playing Diablo 3 recently. And she's not a really hardcore gamer, but she started playing it. She was all excited about it. And she was like,
oh,
but wait. She was like, oh, I can't wait to start Diablo 4. But Diablo 3 is very arcadey, very kind of clean, kind of... There's demons, and like that's about it. Diablo 4 is gory as fuck. I mean, there's some scenes in there.
So intense.
There's like at a certain point, there's a demon that you cut open, and you just he's dragging body parts out of that demon. Like, oh, this is the arm of a lady. Like, what the fuck is this? I mean, I can take it. I used to play in a death metal band, and I used to watch B movies, whatever. But for people like her that are not used to that, I'm really waiting to hear her reaction on Diablo 4. It's definitely a different
there's a man being flayed alive in front of you. That's just a side quest.
Exactly. Like,
this is awesome.
Everybody that played the beta has seen this, but the guy in the armor, there's a certain point there's like an armor that opens up, and turns out there's all these spikes on the inside, and he's just drenched in blood. It just, oh shit, man, it was so brutal. But I like that kind of stuff. I think she's going to perceive it a little differently, but I'll hear about it.
It's definitely, yeah, Diablo 3 is kind of dark, but it's very silly with it. It plays with it, whereas Diablo 4 really leans into that, like, gothic horror.
Oh, yeah. Which I really like. And I mean, the new patch... the new patch is still fun. I even made for the seasonal character, I made like... a barbarian, which is one of the classes that everybody's like, oh, they're so underpowered, and I'm just going through that, like, working my way through all these mobs.
Yeah,
without a problem.
Making your way downtown.
You know what the thing is, and then we're going to stop talking about Diablo. Like, Diablo has this thing where people like making these insane builds that do millions of damage, and they have a world boss in front of them, and they're like, you need to scroll Diablo TikTok. It's all of these chads sitting there going, oh, look at my build. He's dead. Like, all right, buddy. That's good content. That's fun content. But for about 99.9% of the players, who gives a fuck? But that's a classical problem. Like the high tier players and the people that kind of pushes in the accesses are kind of they're not the voice of the community. But sometimes because they make content, they're the ones that are heard the most. And that's not good. But that's a different story.
My damage has dropped by like 0.5%. This game is unplayable.
I love that we can see Hannah's face now when she does these voices. You usually only get the audio. Now we get to see. And I always had this picture in my face where she's kind of smiling while she's doing it, but she's like all saying,
I love this.
I love it. This is definitely extra value. All right, there's one thing else I wanted to talk about, which is this is news that I think the most surprising news I've heard out of Overwatch for a long time is that Overwatch is coming to Steam at the start of Season 6.
Nobody was expecting it at all.
Was left field is even an understatement. This was that was basically aliens landing going beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep. What the fuck? On Steam, really?
And then, it's coming to Steam, by the way, so where are other games? See you
later.
Yeah. Okay.
This is kind of a move because... I've been playing Blizzard games for decades, and it's always been the Battle.net client with its faults and its perks. I mean, it's the only client that I have permanently installed next to Steam to kind of hear that. And if you ask yourself why they're doing this, well, there's millions of players on Steam that are never going to kind of download the Battle.net client. Yeah, there's going to be an influx of new players.
Yeah.
Which is going to be insane. They're not doing this because they think they're in trouble or this or that. They just want more players. I mean, that's the free-to-play model.
That's the thing. They're making it more accessible by putting it on another platform like Steam. If you want to play Overwatch on your PC, you don't have to go and install a game, like a company-specific launcher, which a lot of people aren't super into just to try a game.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just there on Steam, they can just click install because, let's face it, in this day and age, who doesn't have Steam?
Yeah, exactly. And the Steam homepage is like that is the moneymaker. If you're on the homepage, you're going to make a lot of moolah. It's like I can attest to that. Like I've seen indie games that were on the homepage for, let's say, 2 hours, and the cost of the whole game, the whole development cycle, paid back instantly. It's insane. It's one of the strongest tools in all of PC gaming. Now,
I wonder if they're actually going to add any other like Diablos or World of Warcraft on Steam next.
I mean, yeah, they've said that they're going to add more of their titles. So
yeah, they didn't say which ones. I don't know.
Which.
World of Warcraft, maybe, but I think.
I mean, Final Fantasy 14 is on Steam.
Yeah, but the way they do it, and I wonder if that is going to be the same thing with the Blizzard games. Like, if you want to play Final Fantasy 14, you basically download the Final Fantasy launcher, and then it still downloads the whole rest of the game. So it's more of they pass it on, basically. They just kind of hand you over to, and it might be a similar thing where you still have to install the Battle.net client.
But then you have to be really careful from then on where you buy your expansion packs, because if you buy the PC version but you own the game on Steam, you have issues. So is
that true in Final Fantasy, really?
Yeah.
Oh damn, that sucks.
There's a Steam version and a normal version.
Like, yeah, it makes sense. It kind of makes sense. On the other hand, like I said, they just kind of pass you on. We'll see how it all kind of turns out, but I think Diablo is a prime candidate to have it on there.
I know.
My Steam Deck.
3 is going to be great on
exactly.
Steam.
And that new survival game that they've been working on, which we're probably going to see at BlizzCon in November, I think those are prime candidates. And what I'm most excited about is I have a Steam Deck. I haven't been using it as much because like games like that I play on Steam are Phasmophobia, Demonologist, and all that. Oh, look at that. There we go.
No, this is a ROG.
The ROG one. Yeah. Is it good?
It's good. It's literally the Steam Deck competitor. I've been playing it. Yeah, you can use Steam here too.
How much? You don't have to. I don't know how much it is. I was thinking of looking into.
It was like $700.
Oh, same like a Steam Deck. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, $700. I like I will say, like, I do like the little, the ergonomic hands here.
Yeah, it looks very similar to the Steam Deck.
This is not sponsored, by the way, guys. We're not sponsoring this.
Not yet, at least. But
not yet.
If it hadn't been white, I would have thought it was a Steam Deck. But yeah, it looks very similar.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the Steam Deck is it is a little bit heavy.
It is quite bulky. I think the ROG one is smaller, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is my head. I think I have the average human-sized head, I want to say.
Wait,
banana for scale, or there's no...
There's no to scale. This is the a 5. I don't know. You Europeans like to use funny measurements. This is 500 mil.
Wait, let me do it this way. This is a 1.5 liter bottle.
Yeah.
This is not working.
1.5. This is 500 milliliters. This is 500 milliliters.
We need to find something that is the exact same size that we both have. Do you have a GoPro?
Do you have an iPhone?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I have an iPhone 12.
Where the fuck? Hey. I have the same one. Where is it? I lost my phone.
Hey.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's still on the toilet or something. That's not possible. It was just that. I was on the
phone. Well, if you have an iPhone 12 regular, this is what it looks like.
This is with some kind of Samsung phone. Anyways.
Okay.
No, I think it definitely yours looks smaller.
It does look.
It's not as heavy. I don't think it's as heavy as the Steam Deck.
Look how dirty.
Yeah,
this is. What the frick?
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a dirty boy.
I'm really.
Oh Lord, he coming.
Oh Lord, he coming. That's the weight. What is it?
This is the advantage of a video podcast. You get distracted even more by just.
I know.
Stuff. But yeah, one thing I wanted to add to that whole story, like it is interesting that we'll be able to play some of the games, hopefully on portable devices like the ones we have. Yeah. But there's a rumor going around. Gabe Newell is about to retire.
Gabe?
And there are rumors that either Microsoft or Sony is going to buy Steam.
Oh.
My money is on Microsoft because...
Microsoft, there's no way they're going to be allowed to buy Steam. After
That
all
is-
the trouble they went through just to get Blizzard, there is no way they're going to be allowed to buy Steam.
I don't know. Look, Hannah, listen to me. If they are planning to buy it, those conversations are ongoing. All these organizations already know about it. They already kind of folded it into the deals and whatnot. We didn't see. That's what I'm thinking, at least, is that because Sony does not have the money to buy Steam. With all due respect for every Sony player, PlayStation does not have the money, like the resources that Microsoft has to do this. And Microsoft is the PC platform. It's like
It is, yeah.
It's almost like a need buy. I mean,
I don't want to be installing Steam through the Microsoft Store, though. The Microsoft Store is awful.
yeah, but I don't think that is going to be the case. Do you need to? You can still download Word and whatnot from the website.
Wait, check this out, guys. I just Inception here. You have to download Microsoft Store to download Steam to download Overwatch, and you have to download Inception.
No!
It's a dream within a dream.
Oh god, it's getting messy. But no, and I think in a way it could be very interesting. I don't know. I really hope Sony doesn't get to buy Steam. Because they are definitely good. Then we're going to see a fragmentation of the whole landscape.
Yeah, to be fair, I think if Sony buys Steam, it will be very bad for the market.
Especially
because at least Microsoft understands PC gaming and the word sharing.
Yeah.
Sony does not.
Yeah, Sony has been doing all their best to kind of to get everybody to their own consoles, and they just use it as a tool. I mean, we're not going to get. They don't have any gain apart from just money straight out of Steam to kind of make it so I don't know. We'll see. It's a rumor that is going around. I mean, you know how it is with rumors, right? It could be
it could be some guy in a basement with his tinfoil hat. Like,
no, there are some other parties out there that are not directly tied into games that might be very interested to buy Steam. That might be big investors.
It could be their way in to the money that gaming provides.
Yeah. So we'll see. But apparently Gabe is thinking about retiring. Which is going to be kind of funny because he's one of the most iconic figures in the whole industry. I mean, everybody knows what he looks like. Nobody has actually heard him talk. Wow.
Maybe we'll finally get Half-Life 3.
Look, Half-Life 3 is that game that they cannot win on. And I think
it's been too long now. It's too hyped.
Not making it is going to cause less problems than making it, no matter how good it is. Because I really think, like I was kind of hinting at it with Diablo and whatnot, I think at this point the gaming audience is just getting a little too. And I think we all need to understand that
we're a bit spicy at the moment.
To be honest, I don't know. I think for a game developer, it's a hard time to put a game out there. And AAA is definitely, but hey, they can take it. Apart from the people on the team, of course. But even for the smaller developers, it's getting like our expectations are just sometimes. If you look at Diablo, it's a good looking game, even if the balancing was a little off or whatnot, which I still think is not really the case, anyways. But there's no like big game-breaking bugs. I've played a lot of other games that we were playing on Discord. We were playing Demonologist yesterday, and we spent about we played about 2 hours or something, or an hour and a half. We spent about 20 or 25 minutes trying to get one person into the map because everything was kind of breaking or it was not working. At some point, we were literally pulling things out of our inventory because we thought it would have impact on the fact if this person could load in the map or not. We're like, all right, let's not put in any sledgehammers and see if this works. Let's put in 2 sledgehammers and see if this works. It's just insane, man. So just saying, like, we need to chill a little bit, all of us, collectively.
Yeah.
But I can understand some of the anger. I mean, we all feel it.
We all feel it. I think the problem is it's more than just towards the gaming industry. It's just because it's something we're passionate about. It's an easy way to vent our frustrations at society as a whole. So.
Yeah, and I do think there's a problem with our society right now when it comes to corporate greed. I mean, Hollywood is a good example of it. The writer's strike, the actor's strike. The stories I've been hearing coming out of there, like apparently they offered actors $300 to scan to have them scanned, and then they would be able to use them for eternity. $300 to just have your
$300 to have your job taken away from you for the rest of your life.
That's what the studios proposed. Apparently, with the right
$300, you say?
Yeah.
LP, I mean,
yourself for $300.
That's like a third of a Steam Deck. Like,
I mean, it is going to be different if you're, I don't know, Jennifer Aniston. They're not going to have you $300, but if you're kind of a starting actor, that idea of $300 to pay your rent is kind of tempting. But you're basically out of a job. You just kind of sold your persona to these assholes. So
to just use whenever, and so unfair.
I mean, I think we're all kind of. I feel I've said this multiple times, but I think the whole of society is slowly starting to understand. Like, this is not the way we want to move forward.
Yeah, like you can't keep getting away with this.
No. I think they're trying harder and harder, and we're kind of getting angrier and angrier.
Let's break the glass ceiling. Woo!
It's going to be interesting decades and centuries to come. All right, but I think when it comes to Overwatch, the only thing we could talk about is the animated short, but not everybody has watched the latest episode
I haven't
yet.
watched the third episode because I'm a terrible person and I've been sick and I've been busy. So
So we're going to wait to talk about that next week, and I'm pretty sure.
The first two were really good and I really liked them.
I really want to talk to you about this because there were like some people reacted like we already knew this. No, you've not been paying attention. We learned some new stuff that we did not know that is actually quite important. But you need to maybe watch it again. But if you have watched it, next week we're going to talk about that.
Absolutely, I will definitely watch it by next week.
Yeah, and then I think by next week maybe we'll get some updates on season 6. I don't know. Maybe next week or the week after that. We'll see. We'll face that music next week.
I mean, the Sojourn short is coming out a week before, so that's coming out on the 3rd?
Yeah. That's in 2 weeks.
Which is in 2 weeks, yeah.
And we also have...
It's under 2 weeks now.
Yeah, and next week the...
we'll be talking about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I think this week, next Tuesday, the treasure hunt, what is it called again? The Mischief and Magic event is going to start.
Yeah, the
prop hunt.
Prop hunt, yeah.
That's definitely good. I mean, they've been very mysterious about the prop hunt. They haven't...
I know.
Yeah, so... Let's see what that ends up being.
I do wonder if it's a case of we made this silly mode, so we're not going to hype it up because we don't want to disappoint people, but it's some silly fun here, have it.
Yeah, maybe. Might be. What do you guys think about Winston? Have you played Winston Volleyball, any of you?
Oh my god, it's so buggy.
No, I haven't, but I need to. I've been looking into it.
It's really interesting because obviously the ball physics are the same as Lucio Ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
But there's a twist on it, and I don't think the twist quite works sometimes. So, like, there'll be times where I hit the ball and it will be on screen and it won't count. And then there are times where the ball has left my field of vision and I press the hit button and it works.
Yeah, there's been a big problem, but I haven't played it since, but apparently they did roll out a fix to that registration, like the hit registration. But I haven't played it. I played it like when it came out and I was like, nope, not my cup of tea. Fuck this shit.
No,
I'm out.
I unfortunately realized, I still don't enjoy it, but I've been kind of hating on Lucio Ball for years.
Don't say that out loud. You're getting too upset.
No, he knows. He's been doing this podcast with me. He knows.
Yeah, sure.
It turns out I'm actually kind of good at Lucio Ball.
1v1 me, bro.
All right. Maybe that is something for a next podcast epised that we actually do this 1v1 and we record it and then we can add it as an extra. That would be kind of cool. I'm not doing it, by the way. I'm not 1v1ing anybody at Lucio Ball or Winston Volleyball. Fuck that ball. I hate that ball.
No, that's the thing. Like, I don't enjoy the game, but I was doing really well.
Good.
I've gotten too old to just do things I don't like. Fuck it.
Why? I was literally doing it for the achievements.
Yeah.
And like the battle pass experience. And then once I had it, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. That's understandable.
I've got the skin. I've got the points. Bye.
Peace out. Hannah's bye.
Peace
Bye. All right, but that was it for today, guys. I think it's time to round things up.
Yeah.
LP, let me start out with you because you haven't been around for a long time. We have been dropping your name, your Instagram, and your Twitter account every time. But
wow, thank you guys.
We love you.
My ghost writers. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. You can find me at Lons Pawns on Instagram and Twitter, or whatever. I think it's going to be called X next. I think Elon Musk said something about renaming it to X Corp. Yeah. Well, that's another topic for another. Day.
Like that guy. Just seriously, biggest. Anyways, Hana.
All right. Once Bobby's gone, he's my next target.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At Plush Noodle on Twitter.
Or on X.
X Corp. Don't forget, it's X Corp.
X Corp. Yeah.
I won't say it.
It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
On the Bluebird app.
On the Bluebird app. There we go. You can find me as Deemzies TV on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, and of course the Omnic post for all your updates on Overwatch. You can also follow. Oh yeah, and make sure. I almost forgot about this. You can watch the video version of this podcast if you're listening on Apple, Stitcher, whatever. Oh no, Stitcher is done. They stopped, or they're stopping in August. But anyways, whatever platform, Spotify, you can come check out on the Omnic Post YouTube channel. You can check out this podcast. So go have a look if you want to see us talk. I think, to be honest, it's a more fun experience to just see us be lively and moving, and you can see LP's sneakers, you can see the beautiful art and Hannah as well, and you can see my mini Grogu, baby Grogu. Look at him. Yeah, he's cute. Yeah. You can actually sit on my shoulders. That's something for next week. Look at that.
Oh. And we have to get cat cameos at some point as well.
Exactly, that's definitely going to be happening.
Yeah.
I think LP is already left.
Our numbers will soar.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cats always work with any type of content.
Yep.
You can follow the Omnic Weekly on Instagram and Twitter, but the best thing to do is just subscribe on whatever platform you're listening or watching. You get an update.
Watching.
Exactly. And we'll be back next week with another video podcast. Till then, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Look at them wave. So beautiful.
Sebastian skin is that one.
Which one? Show us!